Opinion program are not necessarily those of KSCO staff, management, or advertisers. If something is said with which you disagree, please let us know by writing to us at comments@ksco.com. My life there came a time when I had to make a change. You know, the things just weren't right. I looked around, someone else to breathe. I reached down inside. And I knew when the fight I I can be free. I can be free. I can rise above. I can be free. I can be free. I will rise above. When you're all alone.
Good afternoon, everybody. This is Dr. Duncan McCollum coming to you live on KSCO. What a great day to be around. What a great day to be in Santa Cruz, and what a great day to be in the United States. So I was listening to Brandon Crawford being appreciated today down at the ballpark. And what a great start for the Giants this year. I'm very happy for them. And it's so fun to be at that stadium. Today, I wanted to discuss a subject that has been brought up to me quite a bit by patients, and it has to do with actually the drop of testosterone level in men over the last 30 years. So we hear about it, it's so subtle, it just comes on kind of like quietly, and then one day it's just there, kind of like peripheral neuropathy. But that's not the subject for today. So whether you know it or not, you may have heard about the decline in testosterone, but I want to go over why, what is causing it, and what can be done about it, if you care to do something about it, of course. But, first of all, I'm going to just read this article, and it says the decline of testosterone levels in American men over the last 30 years. Over the last 30 years, American men have experienced a notable decline in testosterone levels, a phenomenon that has raised significant concerns among healthcare professionals and researchers, let alone the men. I added that in. Studies indicate that the average testosterone level in men have decreased by approximately 1% a year since the early 1990s, leading to an overall reduction of 20 to 30% in total testosterone level reduction among men in their 30s and 40s. This decline has been attributed to a variety of factors, including increased rate of obesity. Now, we are the most obese country in the industrialized world, so that ought to tell you something. Sedentary lifestyles, which might go along with obesity. Environmental influences, such exposure to endocrine disrupting chemicals. So many times on this show, I've talked about chronic inflammation and how chronic inflammation leads to chronic disease. Well, endocrine disruptors are those chemicals. And they don't only disrupt the endocrine system, which is the whole hormone system, but since these toxins that get in our body, be them heavy metals, molds, forever chemicals, glyphosate, food additives, dyes, oil-based food dyes, which you might hear about in the news a lot these days. These are all attributing to the ill health of our country. And you hear a lot on different media about weight loss and all this magic stuff that they're saying is going to help reduce the weight of people in our country. Okay, so additionally, the prevalence of chronic health conditions such as diabetes and hypertension, which are associated with lower testosterone levels, has further exacerbated the trend. So we know that diabetes is an insulin condition. It has to do with inflammation at the cellular level, meaning that insulin can't act on the cells. So if insulin can't act on the cells, how can testosterone? It's a hormone just like insulin. Also, we have estrogen, progesterone, thyroid hormones all need to act on the cells as well. So if you have something that's causing insulin resistance, it's causing hormone resistance in general. It's not specific to one hormone. The implications of this decline are significant, as low testosterone levels can lead to a range of health issues, including reduced libido, fatigue, depression, the risk of cardiovascular disease. As society continues to grapple with the public health concern, understanding the underlying causes and addressing lifestyle factors will be crucial for reversing this troubling trend. So a lot of times when I work with people that are, on either male or female, they might come in and tell me that they have problems with their hormones, they've lost their competitive edge, they're tired, they're overweight, they can't lose weight, they can't sleep. Um, just general malaise. They get colds all the time, or they're afraid for the next bug that comes around. These are all because of the body's lack of vitality, and lack of vitality is related to hormone function, because when your bodies can function well, hormones are working and the body's working like a very strong flexed muscle. But when you have inflammation, that will cause the body not to work so well and will cause this kind of problem that we're seeing. So we'll go over specifically what is causing the reduction of testosterone in men. One of them is, I'm just going to start off talking about this, but is environmental toxins and the increase in estrogenic substances in our foods, the clothes we wear, the bottles we drink out of. There's so many factors because esterols, think of polyester clothes or polyester clothes, or even the nylon that the bands of your underwear might be composed of. All of this is made of oil. It all comes from esterols in oil. In fact, esterols, which they use in polyester, is what makes hard plastic flexible. So these esterols, as in estrogen for women, are really good to keep the body beautiful, the skin flexible, plump. Those are the type of hormones that are active in this woman's cycle, which cause changes in their monthly cycle actually cause different chemical reactions throughout the month. Some of them are affected more than others. Lack of testosterone in women is also a factor because testosterone across the board does create that competitive edge. It keeps that mind functioning, keeps the muscle mass going. And it's so important that we understand what is going on with this. So my name is Dr. Duncan McCollum. McCollum Family Chiropractic in Capitola. We are specialized in health, believe it or not. And one of our main things we do is peripheral neuropathy, which is also an indicator of lack of cellular function and muscle function and nerve function. And that is also can be attributed in part to lower testosterone. So let's look at the dietary the impact on dietary choices on testosterone levels in men specifically. So testosterone, the primary sex or male sex hormone, is crucial for numerous bodily functions, including muscle growth, fat distribution, and libido. As men age, testosterone levels naturally decline, but lifestyle factors, especially diet, can also significantly influence these levels. Understanding which foods can enhance or inhibit testosterone production is essential for promoting overall health and well-being in men. Now, understanding how food affects hormones, regardless of your sex, is very important. But we're talking about testosterone specifically here, and it's a huge epidemic, the systematic lessening of testosterone in men. And as I started out the show today, we're talking about a 20 to 30% decrease in overall testosterone in men since 1990. So that's significant. All right, so food that increases testosterone. So these are foods that you would want to put into your diet if you want to try to get your body's hormones functioning and eat food that's more testosterone forming rather than estrogen forming. So certain foods are known to support testosterone production through various mechanisms, including nutrient content and hormone balance, okay? One of the effective dietary strategies to boost testosterone is the inclusion of healthy fats. Isn't that interesting? You want to eat fat to keep your testosterone up. Who knew? Foods rich in monounsaturated fats. Foods rich in monounsaturated fats? Huh, I thought fat was bad for us. Oh, and also foods rich in saturated fats. These monounsaturated and saturated fats, such as avocados, olive oil, nuts, have been shown to enhance the testosterone levels. A study published in the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism found that diets high in monounsaturated fats were associated with higher testosterone levels in men. Additionally, zinc and vitamin D are critical nutrients for testosterone synthesis. Foods such as oysters, red meat, poultry, beans are excellent sources of zinc, which play a vital role in testosterone production. It also, in the research, talks about fortified cereal, but I did not mention that, and I'm going to not mention it. So don't pretend you didn't hear that, because most of the cereals in this country are either GMO or loaded with glyphosate, chemical fertilizers, and pesticides that you need to stay away from, because those are actually endocrine disruptors. So stay away from processed food. I'll get into that more later. Vitamin D, often referred to as the sunshine vitamin, can be increased through fatty fish like salmon or mackerel, egg yolks, and fortified food. There's that fortified. I like to stay away from fortified foods. I like to find my stuff in the natural organic foods. So we'll talk again about that in a minute. But research indicates that men with adequate vitamin D levels tend to have higher testosterone levels, suggesting a direct relationship between the two. So vitamin D levels and testosterone levels have a direct correlation, apparently. Now, we have a way of testing vitamin D in my office. We test for heavy metals, vitamin D, all of the vitamins that are in the cells, as well as the mineral content of your cellular makeup. So this is a good way for us to find out if you are toxic, and if so, what can be done about it. So yeah, vitamin D. Now, there's a trick with vitamin D. There's this curve called the hermetic curve. You've probably seen where they draw a graph that goes up, hits the top, and goes down. And it looks the same on each side. It's called a bell curve. Well, your body does well when you're going up that bell curve to the point where you get almost to the top. It loses its effectiveness. And if you continue consumption, it will actually become harmful on the other side. So this is why too much water will kill you. Too much oxygen will kill you. Too much buried too deep or too high in the sky will kill you. So there's this thing called hormesis, which is the body's adaptation to its environment. So the best way to consume vitamin D is to take high doses once a week. We're talking about 20 to 40 IUs of vitamin D once a week, because the body sees it and grabs it, rather than just a level dose that that's used to. And it doesn't even, it just thinks it's always going to be there. So we like to have abundances and shortages. We call it diet variation, so that the body will grab onto those needed nutrients when they're there. This is why changing supplements periodically is real important, and why changing different types from different fields or different makeups, different companies is important. Don't stay with the same probiotic or vitamin forever. There are better ones out there, or not better, but different makeups that the body needs to see in order to be able to absorb them more. So some other things that are really good with testosterone are cruciferous vegetables such as broccoli, cauliflower, or Brussels sprouts. Also contribute to testosterone production. Cruciferous vegetables are any vegetable that has the leaves come out on either side equally, making it resemble a cross, thus cruciferous vegetables. These vegetables contain compounds that help reduce estrogen in the body. So estrogen and testosterone come from the same derivative. And what happens is when the adrenal glands are taking hormones from the pituitary gland, and then that switches those into estrogen and progesterone, the body's going to figure out how much estrogen and how much progesterone to be made. So if you have 100 units to begin with, maybe 80 will be estrogen and 20 will be progesterone or testosterone in a woman. I'm just throwing out that number arbitrarily. And a men, it might be 80% of that makeup will be testosterone and 20% estrogen. Progesterone is has its own precursor, its own pre-hormone. So that's not part of the equation when we're looking at estrogen and testosterone. That's why we actually hear them talked about together. One of the problems with the estrogenic type foods we eat is it takes our testosterone and converts it to estrogen. This is why you see guys that have what's called gynecomastia, or larger breast tissue makeup. They hold belly fat and they lack that vim and vigor, which is a testosterone induced symptom. So these vegetables contain compounds that help reduce estrogen levels in the body, thereby creating a more favorable environment for estrogen or testosterone products. The presence of something called I3C, or endo-3 carbinol, in these vegetables, the cruciferous vegetables, promote the metabolism of estrogen. Metabolism means they are eating the estrogen, and which indirectly enhances testosterone. So we want that ratio to be greater on the testosterone side than the estrogen side, especially if you're looking for muscle mass, if you're looking for energy levels, and if you're looking for virility. Okay, so now here's a list of foods that can decrease your testosterone level. So conversely, foods that hinder testosterone production and negatively impact hormone or hormone balance. Processed foods, this is the biggie. This is what happens, this is what getting you. Processed foods high in sugar and unhealthy fat, such as trans fats, are particularly detrimental. Almost all processed food is filled with grains, sugars, trans fats, and additives that actually are hormone disruptors. A diet high in sugar can lead to insulin resistance. That means that your cells can't use insulin. Well, it can't use testosterone either, but insulin resistance actually has a link to lower testosterone as well. Additionally, excess consumption of soy products has been shown to have an estrogenic effect, potentially leading to decrease in testosterone levels due to the presence of something called phytoestrogens. So phytoestrogens, phyto means plant-based estrogens are phytoestrogens. These things can basically, they can be very useful in helping women balance their hormones, but they're very detrimental when you're talking about males, because they can help with the conversion of estrogen to testosterone. Not only that, when you have more body fat, every fat cell in your body produces estrogen. So the more fat you are, the more fat cells you have, or the bigger your fat cells, the more estrogen you're producing as well. So it's kind of like a catch-22. You don't have enough testosterone, it causes insulin resistance and increases body weight or fat. So the same thing that does that is actually causing those fat cells to produce estrogen to keep your testosterone out of balance and make you fat or overweight. So it's kind of a catch-22. But what we want to do is start to eliminate the things that are creating the estrogenic foods and start to do things that are creating more of the testosterone producing foods. So we go on and look at what may be some of the things that are affecting lack of testosterone besides the phytogenic foods. Alcohol consumption. I'm sorry to tell y'all, but alcohol consumption is another significant factor influencing testosterone levels. Maybe moderate alcohol intake may not have a pronounced effect. Excessive drinking can lead to hormone imbalances, reducing testosterone levels. Studies indicate that chronic alcohol consumption can impair the Leydig cells in the testes, which are responsible for testosterone production. So those of you out there listening that are worried about your testosterone levels, you might take a look at your alcohol consumption. That's something that you can do, as well as the trans fats and the bad oils that you're eating, as well as the sugar and processed food. All of that is bad for you. Now, here's some more. Moreover, high levels of processed carbohydrates, particularly those found in white bread and pastries, may contribute to weight gain and obesity, both of which are associated with lower testosterone levels. Obesity is linked to increased aromatase activity. That's another hormone. It's an enzyme, actually. Aromatase is an enzyme that converts testosterone into estrogen. It's further compounding the problem. So foods and their effect on testosterone level. Dietary choices play a pivotal role in regulating testosterone levels in men. Dietary choices. Food rich in healthy fats, zinc, vitamin D, cruciferous vegetables can promote testosterone production, while processed foods, excessive sugar, soy products, and high alcohol consumptions can inhibit testosterone production. By making informed dietary choices, men can influence their hormonal health, potentially enhancing their physical and mental well-being. As research continues to evolve, as I say again, continues to evolve, the understanding of the intricate relationship between diet and testosterone levels will undoubtedly lead to more effective strategies for managing and optimizing male health. All right, so this is Dr. Duncan McCollum from McCollum Family Chiropractic, and I'm here talking about the production of testosterone in the body, the ability of testosterone to work on the body, and what may block it, and why is it important? Well, we know testosterone is going to help with your longevity. It's going to help with your energy. One thing it does is helps build body mass, which means your body's going to be healthier. It helps increase the immune system. There's so many different things that it does that we want to make sure that we are giving it all the help we can in order to have our body produce enough of its own testosterone. One of the things that we know is we are the fattest or the most heaviest, most obese country in the industrialized world. And if you tune in to any of the media these days, you're going to find out that there's a lot being said about this, about the purposeful pulling the wool over the eyes and creating a huge health dependency on the conditions of being overweight. And we'll see how they all play out, but I recommend that you just stay tuned. Listen, there's a lot of truth in what's being said out there. Maybe they're some things you need to look into or need to be clarified. But no matter what, you don't want to start getting off of the medications that you've been prescribed by your medical doctor because of anything that you see online or even here. You need to be safe first, and that is the key. And then you can start to slowly change the way your body's functioning. I mentioned oils earlier, so I want to kind of go over talk about what are healthy mono unsaturated fats, and then what are healthy saturated fats. We hear this term, when I grew up, they took one of my best friends is a medical doctor. He just retired. We've known each other since he was 5 and I was 4. He came to my 5th birthday. And anyway, we would have butter in our house and they'd have nickel injected canola oil with yellow dye number 7 in it. They're known as margarine in his house. I just heard in the news that they are now making even a greater attempt. In fact, they've outlawed red dye number 3, yellow dye number 5 and 7, green dye number 3, I think it is, and I might have it wrong, a blue dye as well. But none of that comes into effect until 2026. So kind of crazy, it's poison. Well, just keep eating it till 2026. A lot of that is, as it turns out, oil-based food dyes. So, okay, so fats are essential compound in the human body, playing a critical role in energy production, nutrient absorption, and cellular function. Among the various types of dietary fat, monounsaturated fats have gained prominence due to their potential health benefits and their favorable impact on cardiovascular health. So the nature of monounsaturated fats and their sources and the physiological effects will be spelled out below. What are monounsaturated fats? Monounsaturated fats are the type of unsaturated fats characterized by the presence of one double bond. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. Common monounsaturated fats, fatty acids include oleic acid found in olive oil, polymetoleic acid, and others. Oleic acid in particular is the most prevalent monounsaturated fat in the human diet. It is found abundantly in olive oil, avocados, and various nuts. So they're primarily derived from plant-based sources, making them a staple in our diets. Olive oil, rich in oleic acid. Olive oil is a cornerstone to the Mediterranean diet, which is associated with numerous health benefits. Now, a word on olive oil. It's very important if you're buying olive oil to buy 100% California olive oil, not a worldwide blend, not a Mediterranean blend. The second best olive oil or it's a toss-up would be high quality olive oils that come from Italy. Anything in the United States that doesn't say 100% California grown olive oil can have be cut with all kinds of various olive oils or oils, many of them not olive oil. There's a huge black market. So you think you're getting olive oil, but unless you're getting California 100%, you don't know for sure what you're getting. Now, one thing you can do is put the olive oil in the refrigerator, and if it's a true olive oil, it will harden or it will turn milky in the refrigerator. Olive oil cut with other oils will remain liquid. So that's a test. So if you think you're buying olive oil, make sure you're getting the right kind. Avocado, it's not only a fruit, it's a source of monounsaturated fats. It also has fibers, vitamins, minerals that contribute to overall health, avocados. Nuts and seeds, almond, cashews, hazelnuts, sunflower seeds are an excellent source of monounsaturated fats along with the essential nutrients. Fatty fish, while primarily known for their omega-3 fatty acids, salmon also contains monounsaturated fats. Now, you do want to be careful on how much you consume because of the mercury levels of those big fish that eat up the food chain. Nut butters, peanut butter, almond, butter are popular sources of monounsaturated fats. They offer a convenient and nutritious option for snacking. Now, just be aware that you should, everything you get it as organic as possible. You never know what you're getting when you don't. And you don't even know what you're getting when you get organic, because a lot of the stuff that they allow in the organics is questionable, but you know it's a lot better than just the raw materials that anybody can throw into something. And so the higher quality food, you might think it's too expensive, but the cost of disease is much more expensive than the cost of buying better food. Also, in a minute, I'm going to be talking about foods and getting your body filled up or feeling full of foods. And there are nutritious foods that you don't need as much of that make you feel full. And then there's foods that you can eat a lot of and you're still hungry. There's a certain type of food, I think you all know, that you eat it and then all of a sudden you're hungry again. So we just want to make sure that we're eating the right kind of oils. There was a study in the New England Journal of Medicine, demonstrating that the people on the Mediterranean diet, which consume monounsaturated fats, had significantly reduced risk of major cardiovascular events compared to those following a low-fat diet. The study's finding underscored the protective effects of monounsaturated fats against cardiovascular disease. Now, this is an age-old study, low-fat diets. And even today, people are sticking to those. But we're going to find out how important cholesterol is in the production of hormones a little later in the show here. So ignorance is not bliss. You want to get educated as much as you can on what to eat and not to eat when it comes to these hormone producing or reducing substances or foods that we could be eating. So also, research suggests that diets high in monounsaturated fats can promote satiety, which is being full. There you go. You eat foods that are high in monounsaturated fats. They make you feel full quicker, reduce overall calorie intake, and aid in weight control. Furthermore, these fats may improve insulin sensitivity, which is crucial for preventing diabetes, but also these oils help get the cell wall healthy, so all hormones, not just insulin, can act on the cells, and you get the right oils to make the right hormones, because hormones are made of oils, vitamins, amino acids, and fatty acids, okay? Incorporating monounsaturated in the diet, okay? Let's see. Integrating monounsaturated fats into one's diet can be achieved through simple dietary modifications. Individuals can replace saturated fats. However, we're going to talk about eating saturated fats because they are also important. So you want to have a blend of both. So fats like lard and butter are also good for, as well as olive oil and avocado oil when cooking. Snacking on nuts, incorporating avocados in your salad are very helpful in increasing these beneficial fats. So in conclusion, unsaturated fats are crucial for a healthy diet. They offer a significant benefit for cardiovascular health. They also are very beneficial for weight loss, helping insulin act on the cells, and the production of testosterone. Pretty cool. So now what's the role of saturated fats? Because, you kind of get mixed up on what to eat and what not to eat. So saturated fats, some of the ones I mentioned have both unsaturated and saturated and are probably your best choices. But the role of saturated fats in testosterone production and health. Understanding the dietary fibers and their impact, understanding dietary fats and their impact on health has undergone significant evolution, particularly concerning their role in hormone production. Among these dietary fats, saturated fats have often been vilified in the content of heart health. However, emerging research suggests that they may play a crucial role in supporting testosterone levels in men. Testosterone, a vital hormone for various physiological function, including muscle mass, maintenance, mood regulation, and sexual health, have been shown to be influenced by dietary fat intake. Saturated fats and testosterone levels are related and can play a role helping each other function. Saturated fats are a type of fat molecule that is solid at room temperature. Now, when you take a look at putting olive oil in the refrigerator, it usually will become more hard. That's a good test to see if it's good. But saturated fats are the fats that are solid at room temperature. These are usually animal products, such as there are some plant-based oils, but dietary fats or saturated fats are essential for synthesis of testosterone. They find that men that consume a higher amount of saturated fats experience elevated testosterone levels compared to those following a low-fat diet. This increase is thought to be linked to the role of saturated fats in promoting the production of cholesterol, which is the precursor to testosterone synthesis. Wait a minute. I need cholesterol in order to produce testosterone? Without adequate cholesterol levels, the body may struggle to produce sufficient amounts of testosterone, leading to potential hormonal imbalances. Wow, so this goes against everything we've heard. Ever since I was a kid, I'm almost 70, we've been told not to eat saturated fats or that cholesterol was a demon that had to be eliminated from the body. Our brains are made up of the products of cholesterol. Hormones are made up of cholesterol. Our immune system is made up of cholesterol. We need this stuff. We need cholesterol. Now, we don't want to, eat bad foods and get the bad cholesterol, but we want to make sure we have a healthy amount. The big scare with cholesterol is it's going to affect your brain or your heart. But blanketly, they say this across the board for everybody, where the majority of the people don't have a risk of a cardiovascular incident based on their cholesterol. And there are a risk factor that does. So how do you know? You can actually get a scan done of the arteries surrounding your heart and overall body. And then you can find out, do you have a propensity to get clogged arteries due to cholesterol levels? And if you don't, then cholesterol isn't an issue for you. But, the more people they put on cholesterol meds, the more money they make. When I was graduating chiropractic school 35, 40 years ago, correct cholesterol was 249 was considered normal or safe. Anything over that was bad. But they did create cholesterol reducing medication. Not only does that cholesterol reducing medication affect the heart by killing the coenzyme Q10 and damaging the heart cells, and affect the brain by drying up the brain and the hormone levels in the body. But they then decided, wow, we made a lot of money on this, so let's lower the cholesterol level till it's 224 instead of 249. They did, and that many more people got on the cholesterol med at that time. Now, I'm not saying don't take your cholesterol meds. I'm just telling you that you may want to talk to your doctor about finding out if you have a propensity. There are tests that you can do to check your arteries to see if you have anything built up in there. Because the advantages of having healthy cholesterol in the right amounts in your body versus not having it may outweigh the risks. So this is something that you want to look into. But now guess what? A few years ago, they changed cholesterol level from 229 to 199 is now what's considered safe. Well, guess what? Since I graduated chiropractic school back in 89, our health has not gotten any better by the reduction of cholesterol. In fact, I would say our health has gotten worse. We're more inflamed than any country in the world. We have when I graduated, maybe 10% of kids had autoimmune diseases. Now it's over 50%. 80 million Americans have multiple chronic diseases, according to Michigan State University. You just take a look at the health of our country. We are not healthier by modern medicine over the last 30, 40 years. We are the same, if not worse. There's more chronic disease. And, the question becomes, what do we do about it? Well, you got to stop what you're doing if you want to make a difference. This is why we have things happening in the Human Health Services Department, where they're trying to get the toxic food handled, get the additives out of the food, get the truth in food. And so that we are going to help our kids be healthier by getting these toxic cancer-causing dyes out of our food, as well as eliminate the chemical fertilizers and the additives that are making us sick, because to make the food taste better or look better. So there's got to be something that can be done about it, but we need to start a little bit at a time. So I'm talking about the saturated fats now and their role in progesterone production. Saturated fats influence the body overall hormonal environment. They play a role in the regulation of insulin sensitivity, which is crucial for maintaining healthy testosterone levels. This is saturated fats. Insulin resistance, often associated with excessive intake of refined carbohydrates and sugars. I'll repeat that. Insulin resistance, often associated with excessive intake of refined carbohydrates and sugars, can lead to lower testosterone levels. So refined foods and sugars can lead to lower testosterone levels. Same with alcohol, same with lack of activity. By eating foods that are estrogenic versus testosterone forming. By incorporating healthy saturated fats in the diet, individuals may enhance their insulin sensitivity because you fix the cell wall, thereby supporting optimal testosterone production, as well as any other hormone you want to get into the cell. Healthy saturated fats can be found in foods such as coconut oil, grass-fed butter, fatty cuts of meat like beef and lamb. These have to be organic, grass-fed, not, when they feed it grain, you're getting all the toxins that they put in those grains. So grass-fed, grass-finished. These sources not only provide saturated fats, but also contain beneficial nutrients, including omega-3 fatty acids, vitamins, and minerals that support overall health. For instance, coconut oil contains medium-chain triglycerides, which have been associated with various health benefits, including improved metabolic function and energy levels. So there are unhealthy saturated fats, such as those found in processed food, fried food, and commercially baked goods. So saturated fats that are found in processed foods, that means when you go to the fast food restaurants, fried foods, usually they use canola oil, and commercially baked goods can contribute to inflammation and chronic health issues, including heart disease. So we haven't talked much about inflammation today and how chronic inflammation is responsible for chronic disease, and how 15 out of 16 of the leading causes of death in this country have chronic inflammation as one of the root causes to set up that disease. So we don't want to eat foods that create inflammation in our body. We don't want to eat saturated fats that are refined and in processed food or rancid. We want to eat healthy ones, which we've gone over. You can find out more about this by going to McCollumWellness.com, my website. We should have a list of oils on there, more information on how you can be healthy. We have a 30-day detox on there, a 30-day lifestyle change, 7-week course. And we also do detox at my office. We also do scans, which test for heavy metals in your cells. It tests for the mineral content and how well your body's absorbing minerals. So we can do that at my office as well. This is Dr. Duncan McCollum. All of my shows go up on YouTube for Dr. Duncan McCollum. I would love it if you would do me a huge favor. If you like my show at all, go to YouTube, Dr. Duncan McCollum, and follow me. Whether you ever watch it or not, it does help me get more exposure to, and YouTube will start putting my message out further so we can help more people. All my shows also go on to my podcast, McCollum Wellness Radio, that you can find wherever podcasts are found. And I would be very appreciative if you would go to those. My Instagram, Dr. Duncan McCollum, Facebook, Dr. Duncan McCollum, and follow me so we can get more people interested in what I am talking about to try to get your body healthy. So got a few more minutes. In conclusion, the relationship between saturated fats and testosterone production underscores the importance of dietary choices in hormonal health. While saturated fats have been historically demonized, evidence suggests that they may play a significant role in supporting testosterone levels when derived from healthy sources, not fried fast food or highly processed food. By focusing on quality saturated fats, such as those found in coconut oil, grass-fed butter, grass-fed meat, certain cuts of meats, individuals can enhance their hormonal imbalance and overall health. As research continues to evolve, it becomes increasingly clear that nuanced understanding of dietary fats is essential for optimizing health and well-being in the modern age. All right, so I hope that was helpful. The last couple minutes, I want to talk about one thing that has to do with being overweight, a hormone that you'll hear talked about. It also has to do with insulin resistance. It's called leptin. You may or may not have heard of leptin. It's produced from the fat cells of your body, and it tells your body when it's full. So leptin is a hormone primarily produced by adipose tissue or fat cells and plays a pivotal role in regulating energy balance, appetite, and metabolism. So you ought to know how to work with this leptin because it's going to help you not overeat. It seems as a critical signal. It serves as a critical signal to the hypothalamus regarding the body's energy status, influencing food intake and energy expenditure. On the other hand, testosterone, the primary male sex hormone, is essential for the development of male reproductive tissue. It's essential for muscle mass, bone density, among other functions like libido. The interactions between leptin and testosterone is a topic of increased interest, particularly regarding the implications of metabolic health and reproductive function. Okay, so what we're talking about here is reproductive function is going down. There's more, it's much more difficult for people to become pregnant in our country these days. And part of it, as I started out the show earlier, is that there's a 20 to 30% loss of testosterone levels in men today than in 1990. It's about 1% a year loss. And, you know, if we knew this, which it is known, and we wanted to have a science do something about it, you think it would be done. But what's happened is we've become more and more obese. We've become sicker and sicker. We have more chronic disease, even in the children, more chronic disease. And it is something that is not being changed by Big Pharma. If it was, they'd be smaller and we'd be healthier and we'd be richer because we'd put more money in our pockets rather into the hands of Big Pharma. So a lot of people are staying away from the news, which is probably a good idea because there's so much controversy going on. But, you know, there is something to know, and that is that there are strides being made to clean up an industry gone wild, and that's the food industry. The Food and Drug Administration has allowed profit over health. And there's a lot of people that are probably making a few bucks off of it. But you know what? It's time to wake up, America. If it's to be, it's up to me. So you really want to consider trying to become your own best advocate and look around for somebody that can help give you more information, and never take it as fact until you have a chance to look at it yourself. But one thing that's really hard is the fact checkers. Find out who's paying the fact checkers, because a lot of times when you're getting on these fact checking things, they're being put together by exactly the people that you want to fact check, and you're still not getting the truth. So anyway, so leptin, I've talked about that hormone. It comes from the adipose tissue or fat cells. It's also known as the I can't say it, satiety hormone, Sateity. In other words, it says you're full and satiated, because it helps to regulate energy balance by inhibiting hunger and promoting energy expenditure. What's interesting, when you're digesting your food, that takes a lot of energy. So one reason we have people not eat all day long is because you're spending so much energy digesting the food that you don't have energy to put outside the body. So when leptin levels rise, it signals the body to reduce the appetite and increase the energy burning. Conversely, during periods of energy deficiency, leptin levels drop, which can lead to an increased hunger and a decreased energy production. So it's like a governor, and this helps our body stay healthy. So leptin has been found to influence various endocrine functions, including the regulation of reproductive hormones. So leptin has been found to regulate reproductive hormones. So what you eat can affect that. It acts on the hypothalamus to modulate the secretion of something called gonadotropin releasing hormone. And that is obviously something that helps your body produce estrogen, testosterone, and in men and women, testosterone and its function. So we are about done. I